Hello! I'm back earlier than I usually am. I wanted to do a quick follow-up video to my previous video, now that Phyrexia All Will Be One is out, or I think delayed by a week, but nearly out, with my semi-initial thoughts and reactions, not to the whole set, because I can't be bothered to do that, but to the Mirrans in the set, because there are Mirrans in the set! The Mirrans haven't died out! So this will be quick and rambling, and it's unscripted, so it won't take me very long to make. I just have a list of bullet points. That's the reason I chose to do this, because I knew it would not take much time away from Guild Wars 3, which is still coming. This doesn't count. This doesn't count. Don't worry, everyone. This took so little effort to make. I didn't even take the shelves down, see? Also, this isn't like the new direction of the channel or whatever. I'm just trying a different thing. So yes, here is a quick, rambling Mirran review of Phyrexia All Will Be One. First things first, we have a legendary Mia now! Actually, exactly the thing that I joked the Slivers have too many of at the beginning of the last video. Now the Mia have their own! Yeah, I did appreciate how many people wanted to tell me about Urtet, and that was heartwarming. I appreciate it. Thank you for telling me about Urtet, everyone. I was mid-Commander game when this card was spoiled, and I just could not pay any attention to the rest of the game at all. But yeah, no, Urtet's really cool. The lore for him is only just appeared online, and he is... I initially thought that the Mirari would be, and I think a lot of people thought that the pack that he's holding contains the Mirari, because he's called Remnant of Memnarch, and the Memnarch is now the Mirari. Was the Mirari and is the Mirari again, wherever that is. But it seems more that he's one of the Memnarch original Mias, and his task was to collect scrap and materials for producing automatons and the like, or just Memnarch stuff, producing Memnarch stuff. And now he still does that. He patrols the surface of Mirex, collecting scrap in his odd bag. I really like the lore. It doesn't 1,000,000,000% translate to him being like a Mia commander. I'm assuming that scrap is used to make new Mia. That's why he can make Mia Edgar Markov style. But it's not a correct, it doesn't perfectly go, oh, that's why he's the Mia commander when you hear his lore, if you see what I mean. I'm not sure how much autonomy he has. He talks. He's got a quote on another card, which implies that he's hanging out with the Resistance, and the lore article, I can't remember what it's called, I'll just put it on the screen. The article said that Urtet is like an inadvertent ally for the Mirran survivors by providing them with a bunch of scrap, etc. It's hard to say how much autonomy he has based on the one quote that we have of him, but it seems like he is working with the Resistance to some degree. So yeah, no, Urtet's really good. I've played a couple of times of him now on Cockatrice, and it was fun. My only worry is that he might lead to similar gameplay patterns, if you know what I mean. I don't know if he will be the most varied commander in terms of the games you play. But he's really powerful. He's more powerful than you think, until you get your hands on him. I know he looks pretty powerful. You probably thought he was powerful, whatever. The first turn that I actually managed to use his ability, I used it 3 times in one turn relatively easily, and immediately attacked with a bunch of 10, 11 Mia or whatever, which was great. Cryptolith Right is the best card in the deck by far. It's amazing. It's fantastic. It lets you abuse his ability basically, or anything else you want to use your mana for. Maybe like lean into extra combats or fun stuff to do with untapping if you want, you know, more like varied gameplay with it. I'm probably gonna play at the same time. But I think there's interesting ways you could build him. I sort of built the basic bitch version of him immediately, and I'm quite happy with it. But I think it's not the kind of deck I want to play every week. But he's really good. You couldn't ask. To be honest, like the fact that we got a legendary 5-mana, you know, commander of the Mia is just amazing, and not something I thought was ever going to happen. Well, I kind of thought that would vaguely happen at some point eventually, but no, I didn't think it was going to happen now, at least. I'm in 2 minds about the other Mia. Urtet aside, who is fantastic, and I didn't think that was going to happen. I'm just typing shit into Scryfall, by the way. The others are okay mechanically. Art-wise and flavor-wise, I literally love all of them. They look fantastic. I love all of their art. I love all of their flavor. I can say it now. We can just read it online somewhere. This isn't one of those videos. This isn't one of my main videos. I'm not going to do a bunch of flavor text and stuff. Alright, you want to read it? Look on the internet. Oh, maybe I'll read one. This one's good. Okay, so Mia Kinsmith, here's a card I want to moan about. But the art is fantastic, and the quote is fantastic. Our resistance is like the Mia. Small and easily overlooked, but loyal and resilient beyond measure. Milira. So that's great, and it's like referencing the mana Mia cycle of quotes where they're like, the Mia are like this, if you know what I mean. Which is really cool. And it's like flipping on its head with the resistance like the Mia, and it's great. It's really super good. Did Mia Kinsmith have to cost 4? Really? I mean, like, couldn't he have been a 2/2 and just cost 3 in search of Mia? A Mia's so scary powerful that the tutor for them has to, like, cost 4. 4. It goes into your hand, you have to reveal it. Come on. I love that. I still run the card, obviously. It's the only Mir tutor that exists. But I don't know, man. We've got 4 Mir in the set, and he's, like, only Mir tutor, and he costs 4. 4 for a 3-1 that finds you a Mir. It's not bad, but it's not good. Like, if this guy was a 2-2 and cost 3, I'd think that was a great card. As it stands, it's, Mir Custodian. I don't really have much to say about the other two. I guess I really like the art on everyone. I like most of them have the classic sort of Mir design. Even Mir Convert has fantastic art, and the flavor's really good. I like that Mir's Custodian is bringing up the sort of, like, non-standard Mir look. I think we should have sort of probably this perfect ratio. 1 non-standard Mir for every 3 standard-looking Mir. I just wish 4 Mir. I'm kind of surprised. I honestly thought there was going to be a lot more. Like, I thought what would happen was that we would have a ton of Phyrexian Mir and then a few incomplete Mir. That would be my guess. But as it stands, we only have 3 incomplete Mir and then 1 Phyrexian Mir. And it's just, I don't know. Well, like, again, I'll read the flavor text of this one. Humble, obedient, and tireless. Mir require little modification to excel as servants of Phyrexia. So then why aren't there more of them? I don't get it. Like, it just seems weird. And the previous stuff implied that the Phyrexians sort of utilized the Mir's design, or at least, maybe that's me reading too much into it. But maybe you saw in my last video how I thought that was a thing that they were implying. There's a couple of things I wanted. I kind of thought we might, like, I want to see a Mir in each of the styles of New Phyrexia. I don't know why there isn't a porcelain Mir and one for all the other ones, you know. Like, where's the equivalent cycle to the Mana Mir? I want to see that, but for New Phyrexia now, basically. Or Phyrexia, whatever it's called. I'm gonna go back to my notes. Alright, and then my other big opinion about the Mir is how there should be more Phyrexian Mir, which hopefully doesn't read as antithetical to everything I said at the end of the last video. I just want more Mir, okay? And as much as I don't want the Mir to be Phyrexianized overall, I want, you know, I don't like the idea of Phyrexia disregarding them. Come on, they're cool, use the Mir. Mites should have been Mir, in my opinion. Like, Mite's design is okay. I mean, mechanically they're fine. But I don't care either way. You know, they're just, like, they're good actually. They're cool mechanically. In terms of their visual design, actually, to be fair, that token's actually pretty cool. I like that better than most of the ones you see on the art. The art, that looks different. The token's cool. Okay, well, that's cool. I like that. But the most of the ones you see on the art, like Skelv and the other ones you see near him, they're just like, meh. I don't really care about they're just like a Phyrexian thing. Like, we didn't spend very long designing a Phyrexian thing. Sorry, that sounded rude. But it is how I feel when I look at them. They look like they should be best rendered in Lego. Like, and not even like cool Lego, but like the kind of Lego when it's just like one bit. Nobody wants that. But I get the idea with the mite. I'm sort of more understanding this now, looking at the tokens of the mites, that they may be sort of supposed to be more varied, like how like how an Eldrazi spawn token would. An Eldrazi spawn could be lots of various things. I'm sure that's true of mites. The one thing you see, the ones that look like Skelv that you see, how do you pronounce it? Skrelv, whatever. The ones you see that look like that. I don't like their design. I don't hate it, but it's not very exciting. And it could have been Mir. Like, why aren't these a bunch of Phyrexian Mir? Why aren't just get rid of mites completely, just same token, but it's a Mir instead, and like, they are now this sort of underclass of Phyrexia. That would have been really cool. Obviously, it'd be sad from a lore perspective, but I like sad lore. I don't know. It would just, why don't the Phyrexians use the Mir? There's one Phyrexian Mir? I wouldn't have put money on that. I would have lost money about this. Sad. I'm sad. So yeah, might should have been Mir. I feel like the Phyrexians not utilizing the Mir is quite a big... It just seems like a missed opportunity. I guess the nice outcome of this is that the Mir are now more representative of the Mirrans than Phyrexia, which is cool. I like that, but I want more Mir cards, please. If they have to be Phyrexian, I'll take them. I just want more Mir, goddammit. Whatever, it's fine. There could be more Mir. I'm happy with the Mir we got. I hope you don't take it as a betrayal of the sentiment of my previous video by saying I want more Phyrexian Mir. It would still make me sad, but in a way that's appealing. You know, like how you want media to make you feel. I think this card also has a couple of Mir, though they're Phyrexian, on it. Charge of the Mites, which shows something being impaled by a gigantic mite. And then what looked like 2 Phyrexian Mir in the style of Ichorclaw Mir, around its feet. This is like antithetical to everything that I want about mites and the Mir. This is like, fuck you, no. Here's a bunch of mites killing Mir. Okay, fine. Why are they so big? Or are Mir that small? That's really weird. I suppose Ichorclaw Mir is quite small, isn't he? Are mites that big? I don't understand this art at all. Are the mites being big supposed to represent the deal damage side of the card? mode of the card. The flavor of that is that they get big and attack. It doesn't make any sense. It has Mir on it, so I'm mentioning it in the video. What have we got? Oh yeah, there's that one sad art of him being stabbed. Of Mir being stabbed. There's one, there might be more Mir. Actually, point me at more Mir in the art if I've missed any, but there's that one. Oh god, I should have written the name of this card down. What is that card called? The card is Duelist of Deep Faith. And it has a picture of a Mir being stabbed, and it's sad. It's cute. I'm sad that he's being stabbed. But then I would like, it's not like I love the Mir, but I don't want nothing bad to happen to them ever. It's just when it does, I will care more. in a mediary way, because I'm invested in the Mir. Anyway, I don't know how to, I feel like I need to explain myself. There's a surprising number of Mirrans as well. I'm actually really surprised by the amount of, Mirran cards overall, in all honesty. Like, I was expecting maybe like a few things, like, I know that they've implied that, like I was saying, the Mirrans have survived all this time. Yeah, I didn't think we get anywhere near as many Mirrans as that. And there's a whole Mirran commander deck, which is kind of amazing. Like, I'll have to get that at some point. I'm so poor right now, mate. And, I'm really surprised at that. I wouldn't have put money on that. That's good. I don't know, actually, if I'm betting on this set, why would I do that? Where would I do that? Atari looks really cool, actually. The other one seems quite good. The attacking two. Yeah, they're still good. That's very cool. But Atari particularly, I love experience counters, and that looks like a lot of fun to play. Extra combats, I'm guessing. That sounds like the way to go for that one. Oh, yeah. For Mirrodin! As an ability, that's nuts. It's cool that we got a Mirran version of Living Weapon, which probably isn't quite as good as Living Weapon, because you don't really give a shit about those tokens anyway. But they make 2/2 Rebels, which I don't know if the tokens are online yet, but I still haven't seen that 2/2 Rebel token, and I want to see what it looks like. I bet it's an Oriok or a Volshock. Oh, I'm excited to shout for Mirrodin in the middle of a game, and people won't be able to tell me to stop doing it like they usually do, because it's the rules text now. I'm just reading the card. I'm definitely going to cram as many of those 4 Mirrodin cards into an Atari deck as I can. And they also kind of double up as recursion for her, so that's nice. One of the 4 Mirrodin cards is Silvok Battle Chair, which is an odd inclusion. It's the only time the Silvok are mentioned in this block at all. And it's about a mech chair? They don't really have any, previous flavor talking about them being good artificers or whatever. They're druids, basically, so I don't know why... I don't know why the one piece of Silvok representation is like, Silvok mech chair. Just odd. Very strange. Oh, Clever Concealment. That card seems really good. That seems like a really good card outside of it being... And also, to be honest, I'm kind of excited that I think a thing that probably is going to end up as a commander staple, I would guess. It's like 2 mana, not quite... Well, 2 mana and a bit. Not quite Ferris Protection. You'd think that would probably do pretty good. I do really like the art for Clever Concealment as well, but it falls into the original heroic intervention camp of a spell that, in the game, has a huge effect, saving nations and empires from destruction based on all the stuff you have on the board. And in the art is like, it's the equivalent of a Ajani cutting a net in half with his axe, basically. The Mirran's design, I like it, mostly. Yeah, they've got more clothes than they usually do, which, personally, I quite like the sort of... It's a thing Wizards are leading away from, and I don't think there should be boobs all over every piece of art, obviously, but I do like the sort of Frank Frazetta-y look of Mirrodin's original style, and it looks like... it just gives me the impression that Mirrodin's really hot, because nobody's wearing any clothes ever. And to be honest, I think it works quite well. I picture Phyrexia as colder than Mirrodin was. I don't really have any reason for thinking that, but, except the Mirrans are wearing more clothes now, so that's the impression I get. Phyrexia is colder than Mirrodin. The Mirrans are wearing more shit. And the practicality makes them feel more survivory, which works. I kind of like the implementation of the hexagons in their armor and aesthetic and stuff. I think it mostly works. It's maybe a bit on the nose, but I could see... there's actually a lore justification, which I can talk about in a second. It's been chosen because it's an iconic thing about the original Mirrodin, which makes perfect sense. I could see the Mirrans rallying behind these symbols of their former home. Because the Glimmer Void kind of became the most iconic place on Mirrodin. It's sort of... The Glimmer Void over the years has sort of come to represent Mirrodin outside of Mirrodin, if you know what I mean. If you want someone to know that your card is on Mirrodin, put the Glimmer Void in it. But to be honest, I think I'm being too harsh on it. It's maybe 10% on the nose, but I think it's a really good idea. I think the hexagon element of them is a strong visual identifier for the Mirrans now. They call it Hex Gold in the story, and it's like why they have laser blades. So they have laser blades now. I don't mind them aesthetically. They're a bit more cyberpunkish, but like the idea that the Mirrans wouldn't have developed some sort of, all of the ones that have managed to survive, you'd think they probably have some sort of tech that's, good at fighting Phyrexia, wouldn't you? You'd imagine they've probably done that at this point, maybe, or they have, so that's good. The Mirran survivors that hang out in the furnace layer, etc., go to the Mirrex, which is the former surface of Mirrodin, which is now being stripped from resources in all angles. And they go up there and they take plates from the Glimmer Void, which apparently there's still a lot of, because they all have them everywhere and they're still doing it. They take the plates from the Glimmer Void and they apply blink moth serum to them, and this makes them, like, really good at fighting Phyrexians and the infection, for some reason. I don't really know why. It feels a bit like, take this one thing from Mirrodin lore and take another thing and just, blah, that's the thing. I don't really know what about blink moth serum implied that it would, like, treat armor in a way that's... Maybe I'm missing some key element of blink moth serum lore, but I'm pretty sure it just made you kind of see visions and go crazy. Like, I thought that was the whole deal. It was like the main currency or the most important thing about the Dalkan society, and they were obsessed with it. And I'm pretty sure it was quite hard to obtain, so I don't really get how are there still blink moths? The last time Serum Visions was printed, it was like saying how they don't use, it's not harvested from blink moths anymore, it's harvested from ink moths. So, this seems a bit silly. I think the whole idea of how hex gold is made is a bit trite. I don't really believe, where are they getting blink moth serum for? On Mirrex? Really? Or I guess it would be outside Mirrex, I think the blink moths are like, in the sky, I can't remember. But it's fine. I don't really mind. It looks good. Oh yeah, the goblins have like white hair now. I don't know how I feel about that. I think it looks bad. Some people moan about the later Mirrodin goblin design, and I think they look quite good, personally. But if you give them that big white mane, they're just going to look like the Tarkia goblins, who they look too much like already. So get rid of it. Get it. Shave it off. It looks rebel-y. I get it. It's like a rebel thing, right? But they just... Yeah, there could be a little bit more diversity amongst the Mirrans. I'm being really picky, and in the story they do talk about how like they're being picked off, so there's not a ton of Mirrans left. Like they don't see many elves, and the guy is like, I haven't seen an incomplete Vidalcan in years or whatever. So I understand they're being chipped away at, but there's a few group shots. I honestly, I really like all the Mirran associated cards. Maybe not at least for their flavor. They're really cool. Like Roar of Resistance and Gold Warden's Gambit, etc. And they have some good group shots of Mirrans. But they're all like 80% Volshock and Auriok. Like every single time. And there's a really cool Loxodon in the background. They got one of those stupid maned goblins in the foreground on Roar of Resistance. But like, I don't see any Leonin in the crowd. I don't see any Mia. I really want to see some Mia. Please. If I just pick out a little Mia in the crowd somewhere, but I don't see them. Oh, there is actually a Leonin on the art for Gold Warden's Gambit. I didn't notice him before. This guy on the right is a Leonin. You can kind of barely see him on the card art. But he's there. That's a Leonin. Nice. Actually, it probably is a she, because he would have a mane. So, it's not bad. To be honest, I'm being incredibly picky, considering I didn't think we were going to get Mirrans at all. And the art of Roar of Resistance is dope. It's just that there's more tribes in Mirrodin than just the Auriok and the Volshock, and I feel like on 80%, probably more than that, of all the Mirran-themed cards, it's either showing you an Auriok or a Volshock, which is fine. We got some named people back. Like, a lot of named characters are still kicking, which is nice, between the years. Jorkadeen, Kemba, and Melira. Anyone else? Still kicking on. I don't know who Rock is. Oh, Thrun! Thrun's alive still. And he's, like, talking again now. Yeah, good for you, Thrun. Oh, there's some Mirrans in the background. Oh, look, they're all Volshock and Auriok. What a surprise. So it's surprising that a lot of people have managed to keep on kicking in between the thing, which is cool. They didn't really do anything in the story, any of them. Melira I actually really liked Melira in the Mirrodin story, and she kind of did what I wanted Azuri to... She was like how I wanted Azuri to be in the book and wasn't. They all have pages on the Legends page, which mostly just expands on what they were doing in the years previous. Lots of it is just... They did stuff with Hex Gold. But yeah, overall thoughts on the Mirrans are, I'm amazed and surprised and happy that we got so many of them. I like that they've got a relatively unique visual style now. And I think that the hexagons were a really smart idea for sort of allowing you to pick them out. Pull it on the nose. I think that's too harsh. I think the hexagons are just good. It's a good idea. I'd like some more Mia, and I'd like the group shots of them to look more diverse, but like 8 out of 10 overall. I don't know how to rank it. Yeah, it's great. And then I just sort of got some extra bullet points, which go after that. And I will read through them now. The set overall is really cool. I like the look of it. Like a lot of the Phyrexians, I'm not your guy for evaluating whether a set will play well or whatever. That ain't me. But in terms of lore and stuff, I really like how everything comes together. I think maybe, if I'm being really critical, a lot of the white designs are awesome, and the more abstract they are, the better they look. I think some of the white Phyrexians have lost their creepiness a bit. I think they look a bit clean some of the times. I know that's kind of like what you want, but I feel like the original white Phyrexians had a really good horror under the surface kind of thing going on, and I think that's been lost a little bit in the new ones. And not all of them, absolutely. And there's also like more emphasis on the abstract, which I super appreciate with lots of the art. Also, I don't know how much art he's done for this set, but anything by Igor Kiolik, I can't pronounce his surname, but the guy who did the original Elesh Norn, any piece of art by him is always absolutely stunning, and he's done a bunch of great Phyrexian art, this set as well, as he always does. What else do we have? Story thoughts go here, I said. The story was... I didn't hate it. I think a lot of people really hated it. I didn't hate it as much as they did, but the story is not... I don't know if I think I would call it bad. Yes, it's just about bad. It's not terrible. There are good bits in it, and I like some of the characters some of the time. Everyone, at least once, was like super dumb. Everyone would make really bad decisions regularly, which was really annoying and off-putting. There's a point at the end of the story where every character is changing their minds really rapidly on lots of like important topics, and you can't keep track of how anyone feels about anything, and it just steamrolls to the end. I think that's the main problem with the story. It's got the same issues. It's not as pronounced as the issues in Dominaria United story, but like, it's the same issues. There's too many characters, they're doing too much stuff, and you're trying to cram it all into 5 chapters, and it's just like, I feel like you need incredibly talented writers to pull this off. Like, you need really good writers. I don't want to insult the writing on that level. I'm sure everyone who's written Magic stories has written other stuff at least that was good elsewhere. But I can't imagine how hard it must be to cram this story into those many chapters and have it be satisfying. That must be ludicrously hard. But we just need more. Like, you can't do it. It's not enough chapters. You just can't do that. It was fine with, the Brothers War story is the thing that proves this wrong, and I think because the other one is taking select stories from a long period of time. The first set of chapters by Miguel Lopez was telling, snippets of stories from a big period of time, but they were like individual contained stories. Whereas like the other chapters by Reinhard Suarez, I think, were all like simple plot-wise and just had like lots of character development, so they didn't need loads of chapters. But like this is telling a story with too many parts for 5 chapters. It just cannot fit. And again, it's damaged by the fact that it doesn't fit. The Mirrans did kind of get sidelined in their own story, which was inevitable given that there were 10 Planeswalker characters in it. The Sylex doesn't blow up all the Mirrans, which is good, because it just blows up Elsbeth, who Planeswalks away with it. Oh my god, they go back and forth on how much damage the Sylex will do, like 8 times, and it's discussed a lot, with no real conclusions. So it's like they think it might be able to detonate and not destroy all of New Phyrexia, but they also think that if it goes off whilst the World Tree is active, it will wipe out all of the rest of the planes. It just doesn't make any sense. So the Mirrans all kind of vaguely agreed to go along with this plan that might destroy their home. Bekov says, in case the Sylex doesn't work, the thing that might destroy all of us, I'm gonna get some demolition people to put bombs around the World Tree. So if the Sylex doesn't work, we'll blow the bombs up to destroy the World Tree, which is what the point of the Sylex was. So for some reason, the Mirran's plan is to try the thing that could blow up their entire plane, and then if that doesn't work, we'll try the other bombs that definitely won't. What? And at the end of the story, the Mirrans, we don't really know. The story kind of forgets to end. Like, I think they were going for The Sopranos, but it feels more like Halo 2, if you know what I mean. Yeah, it just ends, and you don't really get any resolution for a bunch of stuff. And like a lot of stuff doesn't get resolved at the very end of the story, so we've got, what happened to the Mirrans afterwards is kind of, on the bottom of a list of, 20 different points that need to actually be, expanded on. Some of the side stories were quite good. Again, there's two by the two writers I just mentioned who did the Brothers War story, and both of those are really good. One follows Tezzeret. I really like Tezzeret. Whenever Reinhard Suarez writes him, Tezzeret's like, I just like him now. He's a knobhead, obviously. That's his point. He's like but like this character that just like wants to feel superior to everybody and position himself above everybody, but is constantly just being like put in his place by these giant, multiversal forces that just use him as a minion all the time. I think it's quite funny. And then, oh yeah, that was probably the worst one. The one where Lukka and Nissa gets completed. That was just funny. That was really bad. That was really bad. That was a real bad story. Actually, if you want to see someone read that whilst acknowledging how bad it is, I'll link a video by Slow, who deserves more subscribers, quite frankly. And if you want, actually, if you want to, I think he's done readings of all the recent stories. If you don't want to read them, listen to someone say them. And yeah, I enjoyed his reading of the terrible Nissa and Lukka story that I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, I'll link that video. Yeah, basically, it's so bad. Lukka just is like, I'm just gonna bond with Phyrexia, and then it's just immediately completed. Just like, takes 2 seconds. He's like, oh yeah, actually, Phyrexia's cool now. I bonded with this one stupid beast, and now I'm like, oh yeah, mate, Phyrexia's cool. It's not weird that my hand is now a talon 10 minutes later. I'm actually into this. So luckily nobody gave a shit about Lukka, so nobody really gives a shit that happened, but... Oh yeah, the Elspeth and Koth reunion, I don't know. Yeah, the art for Resistance reunited, and also the vibe of how they reconnect in the story is a bit misjudged, in my opinion. Like, Elspeth has incredibly complicated feelings about Koth, who essentially, literally imprisoned her in stone, giving her the choice of Planeswalk away or die. And she hated him for that, like she said. And it's like a trigger for her to be locked away because of her past with the Phyrexians being kept while her mates are being tortured, etc. I think she was tortured as well. Regardless. This is not the vibe. This is a weird interaction. The art's obviously great, but just I think this should be more stoic and less emotional, really. They have complicated feelings about each other. I don't think this image represents that at all. I could believe that Elspeth, over years, would, her negative feelings about Koth would be weighed down underneath all of the, the shame and guilt that she feels, which obviously she does because she's Elspeth, so it's got a whole deal. But to embrace him with this, ha, you son of a bitch, no, it's just not. This is not the vibe. Oh, God, Nahiri, why have they done this to you? Oh, it's so sad. Oh, I love Nahiri. Nahiri's top 5 Planeswalkers for me. And Blade Arms. Ugh, I'm gonna be sick. This is disgusting. I hate it. Why did they do this to her? Ugh. Blade Arms. It's so embarrassing. I hate them. I need to bring up an image of it. I've just been... Blade Arms Nahiri. Oh, Blade Arms. Why? Fuck me. It looks so bad. And to be fair, it's actually a really good piece by Chase Stone. It's fucking dope. I love the Geiger-esque environment she's standing on. I love her pose. I hate Blade Arms so much. It's so bad. Fuck. Why would you do this? Why would you ever do this? Who designed this? Oh, it's so upsetting. This is a great piece, I gotta say, by Chase. The art, of Nahiri here, with the backlighting, it's such a good piece. These fucking Blade Arms, man. I have a Nahiri-themed deck, which basically just has, every Nahiri-themed card in it, and I'm probably gonna put the one where she tears down the Colosseum, that card, I can't remember what it's called, but I'm probably gonna put that in the deck. I don't think I'm gonna put Blade Arms Nahiri in the deck. My deck is about when Nahiri was cool, alright? This is not that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's not important. I love Nahiri. Why have they done this to you? I don't mind it being completed. She hasn't had much to do in the story recently. It's being completed is that's something for her to do. But this... I hate it. She just... Right, my headcanon is she's a lithomancer, so she must use hands for most of the time, and she just transforms her stony hands back into hands. Stony blades back into hands again. And then, maybe this is foolishly how she chooses to engage in combat is with blade arms, which is a really fucking bad idea. If you're holding a blade, if you're swinging a sword like this, right, you got so much look how much I can twist and move my wrist, wow, it's amazing. If my arm is a blade, this fucking sucks. Why would anyone do this? And now I can't eat my dinner. When they showed all the potentially completed walkers, I thought oh, that's terrible. that must mean that she's not going to get completed because, like, look how awful that design is, right? That's great. Here he's not going to get completed because of the terrible design. No, she just has a terrible design. Oh, well, my sweet child. One day you will return without your blade arms. Chiscoria is real! He's real now! There's a dragon that was referenced a few times back in the original Mirran on some bad cards. Scale and tooth of Chiscoria. Chiscoria! It's like a big dragon. I don't know anything about the lore of Chiscoria. I don't think there is lore. Let's have a look. Should we read it together? Chiscoria is one of the few remaining dragons from the original Mirrodin. He is so powerful that he's escaped Phyrexianization by simply destroying any that have attempted to go near him. Mirrans craft armor and weapons from the scales he sheds. Seeing him is considered a good omen that they will win the next battle. He's a big furnace dragon that was referenced a few times in the original Mirrodin, and he's real now! He's a big dragon! Wow. We've also got Graz, the unstoppable juggernaut, which at a glance I thought was Phyrexian because of the tentacle bits coming out of his mouth. And then at a better glance, and after that lore article bit came out, I realized he's actually a leveler, which were Memnarch's chosen bulldozers for destroying parts of Mirrodin. And this one survived, and now he's eating Phyrexian stuff, it looks like. The ogre, yeah, yeah. We got a sequel to, Ogre Resistor. Yeah, we got a sequel to Ogre Resistor, whose quote I read in my last video, and I'm just going to play that now because I don't want to read it again. He didn't have a word for home, but he knew it was something to be defended. Now there's a sequel to him! It's actually really heartwarming. When the Volshock taught him the word for home, he knew it was what he'd been fighting for. That's adorable. So good. He looks kind of different from the previous ogre we saw, but then so do all the new ogres at the minute. They've all, they look more gorilla-y than they previously did, and they're missing the metal plates over their eyes, which they used to have. Maybe the Mirrans sort of pulled them off? I don't know. Why are the Mirrans turning on Urabrask now? I understand he's, like, still bad relative to them, I guess, probably. But, like, there's a few Mirran cards where they're like, yeah, we're gonna fuck you, Urabrask. And it's like, bro, they're, like, I don't know. Maybe beat the other Phyrexians first before you turn on Urabrask. Urabrask's cool, alright? I feel a mild bit of betrayal when the Mirrans say that. I understand that he's like an invader and usurper of your home, but like, he's the cool one! Don't be so mean! So yeah, those are my major thoughts about Phyrexia. All will be one. Hopefully this will be editable into something that makes sense. I can maybe do a more in-depth video about the actual story and its direction at some point. But we gotta do Guildless 3. That is the next thing, I promise. I knew this would only take a few days to make, and Guildless 3 will take more time. I'm afraid, I'm sorry, I'll probably have to disappear for a couple of months again. A couple is generous. Because I want to put the time and effort into it that it needs. That's the point. It will be really good. Unlike this, probably. It will cover the... Yeah, so I should probably talk about it so it doesn't feel like such like a joke video I'm never going to make it instead of the project that I'm working on right now, which I am. It's literally what I'm... So that's not true because I'm in the middle of recording a different video. Actually, no. As of the time of... It's not true as me saying it right now, but when you hear it, I am working on Guildless 3. This is a statement of truth. I was before this video anyway, but I've got a good chunk of that script written. So I'm going to push War of the Spark back into its own video because I think anyone who knows those the next Ravnica block knows that War of the Spark could definitely be its own video. Outside of that, I have patrons now. I have 3 patrons. And I'm going to thank them now, at the end of this video. Probably quicker than they thought they were going to get thanked. And so a massive thank you to Ephusus, Jakob, and Vukasin. I think. I'm sorry. I'm sure I pronounced at least one of your names wrong. I'm really sorry. All 3 of them are for the highest tier as well, in the battle sphere, which is amazing. And I honestly thank you so much to all of you. I really struggled over whose name to put first, because Jakob was technically my first patron, which is fantastic. It's just Ephusus, and I'm sorry if I'm butchering that, was technically the first person of the highest tier. And then after that, unbidden, Jakob changed his to the highest tier as well. But Ephusus was technically the first in the battle sphere. We'll make that point. Although you were my first patron, Jakob, so both of you have an award. And Vukasin, you were there this morning, and that's great. So you're now in the video. Well done, nice. Thank you all immensely. If you want me to awkwardly say your name and probably more at the end of the video, because there's not that many people yet, so I can spend more time rambling. Yeah, find me on Patreon. There's probably a link on the screen now, or somewhere on my channel underneath this video or something. I don't know. I think that's the end of everything in this video. If I have any ideas for other shorter things like this in the future, then I will put them out. I made some shorts. Have you seen them? Go and watch them. They're not bad, actually. They're not bad, actually. And I might put some more shorts out, maybe, I think I have, idea for one more short, which I'll probably pepper in a little bit of time, so there's not as much of a giant gap between the times you see me. I know it wasn't like I've died, and I don't plan on giving this up at any point, and I'll tell you if I'm stopping or whatever, probably. But I'm not stopping. I know I disappear for a few months at a time, and it seems like I'm dead. I'm sorry. I'm not dead. So yeah, Guilders 3, see you in a little bit. It'll be a great... Oh, yeah, I need to do that thing for community. See you in a little bit. It'll be... What do they say in the advert? I can't remember. I don't even see me because of the laptop. See you in Guildless 3. See you in Guildless 3. How does he do it? It's like... See you in Guildless 3.